Alright guys, just did some fire collection. I just wanted to show you. I got this variety of wood that I found. I got a big piece I'm going to work on. It's a big hard piece that gets these nice solid grain. Look at that in focus. Burns a long time. That'll last a while. But this should last me a bit. Definitely get me through my first cook. But I'm going to take you through my fire build. Got a piece in there. It's an old punky piece, kind of wet. And I'm going to build the fire and show you guys how I do things. What I like to do that's a little different than most people, I kind of like to pre-build. I like to do the set it and forget it. I build up, if you watch my one video about the compressible camp towel fire starter, little test video I did, tried out the idea I had. I like to pre-build my fire. So that way, as it lights, as it burns, it kind of falls in on itself. I don't have to mess with it for a while. It'll just burn in on itself, all set itself on fire, and just spread and have a nice hot center coal burn. So that's what I'm going to do a little bit now. I'm going to do a little bit of processing as I'm talking and get this started. Oh. Fall over and die. So I grabbed that pile of thinner sticks, little pieces, so I can break these apart, little bundles, sit over here, kind of process and get this started. 8 together, strong. Not if you apply enough force. Bundles. Oh, for the drier, tinier stuff, it's starting to sprinkle on and off. Behind me, I set up my tarp. I got it set open, pulled open on this side with the stick that the phone's leaning up against. And I got it pulled down tighter on the lake side because I'm facing the Second Lake, and I got the Kenyato Creek behind this hump. So with the hump behind me and the tarp blocking the wind coming off the lake, I should be pretty well protected if it gets chilly tonight. And this fire will radiate some heat at me in the night. Not as much as if I had an up-ground fire, but this will last longer. And I don't need all that much heat anyway. I produce a lot of body heat, so I don't need that much. So, getting all my little bits processed down. Try to make sure everything isn't too much wider than the pit, so that way as you're going down, you're not degrading the sides of it the entire time you're trying to build your fire, throwing sand and dirt on your fire. It's not conducive to a burn. Okay, I got my range of sticks here. Looks like I got a piece of punk wood over here. That's a little damp. Alright, so it looks like I'm making maybe some feather shavings. I'll show you guys that. Let me go get my hatchet. So now when I do any sawing, I'm using this. It's a breakdown, unscrews here, comes apart, slides into itself as just a single rod looking thing, sits in a sleeve in my bag. This compact needs something with a little more aggressive teeth, something that was a little sturdier. I have the rope hand saws, I have a folding saw, but some of it just wasn't cutting. So I got that. I got my Friskars camping hatchet, not a plug, just what I use because it's lightweight. It's got a nice wedge on it. I got this off Amazon. Ring Sun, I don't know. It's on Amazon. I just put in rustic leather hatchet sheath. bunch of them came up. This was a cheap one I needed for right now, so I can put it on my belt. So I got it. I'm looking for a straight section on this. This might not be the best piece to use, but okay. Take this side off. Okay. Not too bad. I hate when I slip and I chop all my feathers off. But all my curlicues are going where I want them to be, so. I need to get the fire going. Bugs are bugging me a little bit because it's muggy over here. So, little feather stick. Yeah, so I can start a fire a little easier. Got a nice pile of shavings. Got a bug in my ear. So I'm getting a nice little bed down there, so that way it has places to go. Sit on it so that way it's got air around it and stuff. It makes for a much easier fire start. Set up some crisscross framework. Especially if you're doing a set and then start, always make sure you leave a hole to drop your tinder bundle, bird's nest, fire starter stick, match, whatever it is. So build it up like a log house without the roof, or make sure it's got a big skylight. That'd be nice. Log cabin, nice skylight, out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? That's paradise. Good stuff. Yeah. Normally I like to have some bark, some birch bark, stuff like that. There's some birch trees around here, but they're so young, none of them are peeling. Bunch of white birch and black birch, I think. But okay, so let's get this fire started. second. Haven't actually made sure all my knives have a 90-degree edge on them. So, there we go. One moment. So, I went looking for some fire starter, and I ended up finding a snack. Inner bark. It's good in a pinch. Taste like wood. It's a little dirty, a little wet, so problem is this bark is so young on the birch bark that it's not doing that papery, feathery, peely thing. But it's got a ton of resin in it, so it should start. I was just demonstrating. You can chew it, you can eat it. Boil it, make it like noodles. Okay. There we go. And we have fire in the hole. Boom. There's the survival fire. And it's a little bit of smoke right now because it is a little high, but eventually smoke will just be coming out of that hole, if any. The Dakota fire hole. My style. And starting fire with ferrocerium rod, using just bark and wood. Yeah.